عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قل أرأيتم إن أخذ الله سمعكم وأبصاركم وختم على قلوبكم من إله غير الله يأتيكم به انظر كيف نصرف الآيات ثم هم يصدفون قل أرأيتكم إن أتاكم عذاب الله بغتة أو جهرة هل يهلك إلا القوم الظالمون وما نرسل المرسلين إلا مبشرين ومنذرين فمن آمن وأصلح فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون والذين كذبوا بآياتنا يمسهم العذاب بما كانوا يفسقون قل لا أقول لكم عندي خزائن الله ولا أعلم الغيب ولا أقول لكم إني ملك إن أتبع إلا ما يوحى إلي قل هل يستوي الأعمى والبصير أفلا تتفكرون صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين قل أرأيتم إن أخذ الله سمعكم وأبصاركم وختم على قلوبكم. Say, tell me, if Allah takes away your hearing and your sight and sets a seal on your heart, Man ilahun ghayrullah ya'tikum bih. So who is a God apart from Allah that can bring these back to you? Unzur kayfa nusarrifu al-ayati thumma hum yasdifun. See how we put forth our verses in various forms, yet still they turn away. So the conversation of that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is advising the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the ways to convince them is that say to them that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes away your hearing and your seeing power and puts a stamp on your heart, then who is going to return it to you except Allah? Who can return it to you? And see how we put these signs openly in different ways to them, but they still turn away. قل أرأيتكم إن أتاكم عذاب الله بغتة أو جهرة هل يهلك إلا القوم الظالمون. Say, tell me, if the punishment of Allah comes upon you, whether suddenly or openly, shall any people be destroyed except the unjust? So when the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes for the people who turn away, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the people who are established on Iman and who are worrying about the Iman and the betterment of others, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects them from the punishment. And if the punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes, then nobody will be destroyed except the unjust or those who are turning away. وَمَا نُرْسِلُ الْمُرْسَلِينَ إِلَّا مُبَشِّرِينَ وَمُنذِرِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that we do not send the messengers إِلَّا مُبَشِّرِينَ وَمُنذِرِينَ except for two reasons, except for two jobs. One is that they are mubashirin and the other is that they are mundhirin. Mubashirin means to give good tidings, good news to the ones who accept and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and correct their actions accordingly. Wa mundhirin, and those who do not accept and do not correct their actions, do not mend their ways, then to make them afraid, to warn them, to alarm them to what's coming forth and what's ready for them. فَمَنْ آمَنَ وَأَصْلَحَ فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. So those who bring faith and correct their ways, فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, then they will not have any fear over their past, and they will not have any fear for the future, and they will not have any sorrow over the past. وَالَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا, and those who turn away and reject our signs, يَمَسُّهُمُ الْعَذَابُ بِمَا كَانُوا يَفْسُقُونَ. Our azab will afflict them, punishment will touch them, بِمَا كَانُوا يَفْسُقُونَ, because they used to commit sins, because of the sin that they are doing. So the mushrikeen of Makkah, there was different kinds among them. Some brought faith in the Prophet ﷺ right away. The Prophet ﷺ was himself an open sign, and the way he was born among them, the things that happened in a year just before his birth, the story, the happening of the event of Ashabul Fil, those who came to destroy Makkah, Kaaba, and were pushed away by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, And the life that the Prophet ﷺ spent 40 years among them, in which he was totally unlettered. He did not know how to read, and all of a sudden one day he starts speaking words that cannot be matched by others. And he started giving a system of life to people that was the best and most practical and most beneficial to everyone. This in itself is a sign that the Prophet ﷺ is the true Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those among them who did not have jealousy, or who were close to being sound-minded, they accepted the Prophet ﷺ. Then there was others who asked for some material signs, who looked for some material signs in the Prophet ﷺ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfilled some of their requests. If those requests were made in earnest, in honesty, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even fulfilled those requests. So some mushrikeen had come to the Prophet ﷺ and asked that if you can break the moon into two, we'll believe in you being a prophet. And this is a famous thing that was experienced worldwide. Even people, it comes in some history books that even people in India witnessed it, that the moon broke into two. The Prophet ﷺ was told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this was a mu'ajza, or a miracle that happened at the hands of the Prophet ﷺ. But still others were people who did not want to believe no matter what the Prophet ﷺ brought before them. And they had jealousy and inad, or anger, and they had decided that they will not accept the Prophet ﷺ. So these people kept on bothering the Prophet ﷺ by fresh new requests that were ridiculous and that would pain and trouble the Prophet ﷺ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, as we've said in the previous ayat we've read, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that we are not going to show those signs. We are not going to show the signs that they keep on coming based on their whims and desires, but the signs that we had to show, they are signs enough. So the next ayah talks about some signs that they had asked from the Prophet ﷺ, and again they really did not intend to believe. One of them was that if you are a true prophet of Allah and beloved of Allah, then gather on your word all the wealths, all the treasures of this world, and gather them at our feet, if you are a true prophet. Second, you should know everything. Tell us things about the future. Third, we see that you are a human being like us. We do not accept this. You should have the qualities of an angel, or you should be an angel, and then we will accept you. Na'udhu billah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala beautifully has said, وَمَا نُرْسِلُ الْمُرْسَلِينَ إِلَّا مُبَشِّرِينَ وَمُنذِرِينَ. The job that we have assigned to the messengers, that does not require any of these things. Their job is to give good news to the believers, and to warn the people, to awaken the people, to warn the people who are on the bad path. And this is what they need to do, and this is their purpose. Anything beyond, and this is the superior most thing that one can do. These things that they are asking, these are very inferior things. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Prophet ﷺ, قُلْ لَا أَخُولُ لَكُمْ عِنْدِي خَزَائِنُ اللَّهِ. Tell them, I do not claim, I have no claim that I have with me all the treasures. وَلَا أَعْلَمُ الْغَيْبَ. And I do not know things that are unforeseen, that are not seen, that are hidden from the eye. Now we should note here that the ilm of the Prophet ﷺ, the knowledge of the Prophet ﷺ, is more than any other creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even more than Jibreel alayhi salam. The kind of knowledge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to the Prophet ﷺ, in which there is some news of the future, but it is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ himself inherently does not have the knowledge of it, but it is a news given to the Prophet ﷺ that is unmatched in any creation of Allah, compared to any creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the absolute knowledge of what is coming and what is going to happen only lies with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even the Prophet ﷺ was not granted this knowledge. So the Prophet ﷺ is told to say that I do not have the knowledge of the absolute ilm of ghaib. وَلَا أَقُولُ لَكُمْ إِنِّي مَلَكٌ. And I never say to you that I am an angel. In أَتَّبِعُ إِلَّا مَا يُوحَى إِلَيْهِ. I only follow what I am told, basically. Yuha ilay, what is given as wahi to me, what is wahied upon me or revealed to me. And this is the best, this is the superior most thing to do. This is my station, that I do as I am told. Allahu Akbar. This ayah also tells us that abdiyat, or being slave or given into the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is much better, much higher, and the station of prophets. It's much better and higher than having all the treasures of this world. This is much better and higher than having a lot of knowledge. This is much better and higher than being as pure as an angel. To give in and submit to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abdiyat. قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الْأَعْمَى وَالْبَصِيرُ. Tell them, ask them, are the blind and the seeing ones equal? أَفَلَا تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Why do you not think? If you thought, then you would reach the truth. If you thought without biases, then you would reach the truth. But you do not want to do that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from being those people who have bias. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us the people who are on the right path and established on it forever. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. صلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.